Hi, Al. How are you? Great to see you again. Long time no see. Such as 3 days. Let me first ask, how many of you were here 2 or 3 days ago when we had the program on the 20th Party Congress? Can you raise your hand, please? Okay, I see about 8 or 10 hands. Thank you. Since most of you are not here, I'm just going to repeat a little bit of the announcement that I made a few days ago. But first of all, I'm happy that two of my trustees are here, Ronnie C and Vernon. Great to have you here. Alice Mong, our executive director, will be back on the 1st of November, and these are her bosses. Anyway, I just want to announce a couple of programs for those of you who were not here a few days ago, and that is on November the 9th, we're going to have a program on U.S.-China relations. Some of you were here at the John Thornton event. John Thornton is now the global chair of Asia Society in New York City. He was here, right here on stage, and spoke about U.S.-China relations. The program was meant to be at the end of a reception that lasted, the talk was supposed to last 45 minutes. It ended up 95 minutes and nobody left. And the U.S. Consul General was here, Greg May was here, and I was able to get him to speak as well. And while John was here, I invited a very small group of only 3 people, together with myself and John. 5 of us had a session together, and let me tell you, my friends blew him away. We shared with him ideas about what may happen to U.S.-China relations that probably John never heard of. He was blown away. And one of the guys who blew him away will be speaking on the 9th of November. The other fellow who was there is our speaker here today, which I will officially introduce in a second. We will also have quite a few other programs. I just want to put you on notice. On December 7th, which is a breakfast program, we're going to have Charlie Cook of the Cook Political Report, one of the top polling operation survey for elections in the United States. Charlie has spoken for us 3 times, I think, and then he will come back again. Because of the time difference, we have to make it a breakfast program, so it is his evening to talk about the midterm election in the United States. I told some of you about Dr. Kai-Fu Lee from Taiwan originally. Kai-Fu is another old friend who is an AI expert who has been writing books on AI. I don't know if the date has been set, Sonali or Virginia, Holly, the date has not been set. But anyway, he'll be here in November, and he will be back here again in January. So one of those dates, just watch out for the announcement. Kai-Fu will speak for us. When he was last year, about 2 months ago, he spoke for the Better Hong Kong Foundation. Many of you, a few of you here are council members. It was really an excellent talk. It was there that I decided, I said, hey, this guy is so darn good that I'm going to invite him to the Asia Society to give a talk. So don't miss that one. We may have a gala dinner. We are still working on the speakers on November 6th or around there. We have invited 2 world leaders to be our speaker. I cannot announce them yet because they have not yet said yes. But we think that it will probably happen. So watch out for those announcements. We have not done a program on Hong Kong for ages. I'm so happy that people are not as interested in Hong Kong issue today. That means Hong Kong is okay. When Hong Kong is hot, such as in 2019, a program like this will draw a lot more people. Oh, by the way, we are resuming our lunch programs for business and policy. We used to do it, a lot of it, years ago. But for several years, for various reasons, we stopped doing lunch programs and we turned to the 5 to 6 p.m. Type of program over a drink. And my trustee here, Vernon Moore, told me that he's really missing these programs, so we think we better start. And a lot of people are not yet used to receive our announcements, so I said, let's just do a whole series of it. People come, people don't come, it's okay. We'll just do a series of it, and people will hear what they have missed. And when they know that they have missed something, next time they will watch out for the announcement. On the Hong Kong subject, I don't read local newspaper. I'm just not that interested in Hong Kong affairs. And you may say that, you may not believe me, but that's the truth. In my study in Hong Kong, I have a stack of local paper that high. I never read it. So you say, how can you do business in Hong Kong and you don't need to read the newspaper? Well, the reality is Hong Kong is an economic city. Hong Kong became a political city, and that's why we're in such serious trouble in the last 25 years. I think Hong Kong is now returning to be an economic city, and so I don't need to read too many newspapers. So how do I get my news? So, most people think that I'm quite knowledgeable about Hong Kong affairs. Ladies and gentlemen, do you think that this fellow knows a little bit about Hong Kong affairs? What do you think? You think I know it? You think I know it? Any of you think that I'm a dummy on Hong Kong affairs? Please raise your hands. Anybody think that I know something or quite a bit about Hong Kong affairs? Please raise your hands. Thank you. You're my friends. Let me tell you where I learned it. I just have some friends that are very, very good. I consider them to be the best, to be the most objective, most knowledgeable. Some of them are highly analytical. Others have their hands to the pulse of the society. And one of them is with us here today. He's my teacher on Hong Kong affairs, as well as in a few other matters of importance to all of us. And I'm very happy that he can be here. Let me give you a little bit of background. About 24 years ago, 25 years ago, CH Tung asked me to chair the executive committee of the One Country, Two System Research Institute. I have no choice. When CH calls, he was the chief executive at that time. I have to do my job as a local citizen. So I chair the executive committee of the One Country, Two System Research Institute for a number of years. And within the first year I joined, our president at that time said, we need to have a polling organization. So I said, good idea. So we hire a Republican Party. If you're a Democrat, sorry, I know it doesn't matter, they're all good. The Republican Party poster from New York City, or Washington, D.C., I forgot, and came to Hong Kong and taught us how to do it. And we started a polling organization. We don't talk much about it. And, I know who are bad polling organizations. I know some Hong Kong polling institutions in the past 20-some years. Basically, their beginning point is, what conclusion do I want to announce? And then they design their question accordingly. Just as Dr. Henry Kissinger used to say, ladies and gentlemen, what question do you have for my answer? Now, if you're Henry Kissinger, I gladly suffer that. I want to hear whatever that guy wants to say. But if you are trying to figure out what the society is really like, you don't do that. And I can assure you that over the last 20-some years, history has proven that this polling organization probably has the best track record proven by subsequent events. So the president for the last many years is a good friend of mine. Oh, by the way, another story. Hong Kong U and Chinese U always have a debate once a year. And Hong Kong U always win. Until 1 year. Chinese U, each team is 3 people, right? The Hong Kong U team, I name the names, you will know the names. One is Lau Zhentao, who is a famous journalist, Ming Pao. The other one is Wang Weilun, which is a government secretary, okay? That was the first year that they lost to the Chinese U team. And the captain of the Chinese team is our speaker today. So, not bad. He became a professional and very successful and wrote a book. And one day, CH Tung came to me and said, Ronnie, have you read that book? I said, no. Do you know this guy, the author? I said, no. So he said, go get a copy and read it. So I did. And I said, wow, this guy is good. A few years later, Hong Kong was in a little bit of trouble. I called this guy up and said, hey, come, I want to talk to you. He and I sat in on a Saturday lunch at China Club. We spoke for about 4 or 5 hours. And I tried to convince him to give up his high-paying professional job and come work for a new organization who is, can hardly pay anybody. He did. And eventually, he went on to have a second career, if you will, in the policy arena. He became a member of the executive committee, and he became a national CPPCC member. All that stuff that I'm not good enough for, he became, and that's why he's my teacher on Hong Kong affairs. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our speaker today, Mr. Cheung Chi Kong. When we are seated down. When we're seated, it's okay, huh? Okay, Chi Kong, tell us, after being the head of the One Country, Two System Research Institute, including the polling organization, what does it tell us about Hong Kong in the last 20-some years? Where do we stand today? And what does that tell us about the likely future of Hong Kong? So with that very broad overview, I will ask Chi Kong to make a presentation first, and then we'll enter into a dialogue and Q&A. Is that okay, ladies and gentlemen? Happy with that? Okay, Chi Kong, take it away.
Thank you, Ronnie. I need to say thank you many times because Ronnie support us, to do a lot of this research in the past, I think, 20 years. So Ronnie asked me to come to share with you my analysis or my judgment about, the Hong Kong development. I said instead of just listening to my own judgment, why not, you listen to the Hong Kong people. The polling actually reflect the collective opinion of the 6 million people. So in the past few days, I combed through the data bank of our institute and try to screen some research results which are useful, meaningful to learn more about Hong Kong, and some are quite interesting or some even surprising to you about the result. So I sort out, all the information in 4 major areas: trust, security, identity, and future. I think with all these areas, after you have a look on these findings, I hope you can have a clear picture about Hong Kong in the past, nowadays, and in future. Trust. Trust is very important in our daily life, okay? Ronnie, I ask you, who do you trust?
You?
Don't say yourself.
I trust you in something, not everything.
Trust is very important. Of course, if you ask me, depends, where I answer the question. If at home, I would say my wife, okay? Here, I would say you, Ronnie. But I'm more interested to share with you the people, the institution, or the party which own the authority, power, or influence in Hong Kong. That your trust is important, right? So in 2011, 10 years ago, we start this survey, and quite expensive. We don't receive any sponsorship on this research. So all the costs come from our pocket. That means from Ronnie's pocket.
Many others.
So we can only do alternate year, once every 2 years. This is the question we ask. I don't read through, the sentence. You can read. Okay. We have 16 parties, institutions, or authorities, something like that. Okay. To ask, and later on we add one or two more, such as the Hong Kong police. Okay, in 2019. You guess who ranked number one in terms of the trust level? We add up because we have 5 choice. So we add up 非常信任, that is strongly trust and trust. You guess in Hong Kong and mainland China, under one country, which ranked number one? Not difficult. The first question is always very easy.
Not that easy.
Easy, that is easy. Courts of Hong Kong, 69. Makes sense, right? Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Okay. Rank number 2, second. You guess, gentlemen? Oh, sorry, we didn't put ICAC in the survey.
More or less like the court. Police?
State leaders.
Oh.
In Chinese, it's 國家領導人. I think may be surprising to some of you, okay? Because, if you read, lucky, Ronnie, you don't read local newspaper, okay? If you read the local newspaper, you watch the TV program. Nowadays better, but because we did this survey in 2011, okay, 10 years ago, okay? The state leader always come under attack, all the negative reportings.
So that's Hu Jintao days.
Third, PLA. In Chinese is 解放軍駐軍部隊. Third, the score, you see, 45, almost half. Because in this categorization, there is 5 choice. We add up the first 2 and another 2, so we have half and half. Okay, so if 45, which is really high. Fourth, Hong Kong civil servant. Okay. And then central government or PRC, 中央政府. Chief executive, 行政長官.
That was Donald Tsang the first year.
The final year. District councillor, 區議員. News media in Hong Kong, 香港的新聞界. Legislative councillor, 立法會議員. So I said, you may be surprised. 區議員, district councillor rank higher than legislative councillor. No.
Number 15 is pretty low.
Communist Party of China.
Oh, I'm number 16. Oh, gosh.
You will be upset, So, Ronnie, you need to tell your friend, you need to work more on it. 9.1, just 9.1. Okay. 10 years later, that is the new ranking. Okay, apart from the ranking, I think I will ask you to read the strongly trust plus trust, 35. From 69, dropped to 35. Basically, almost all are loser, excepted a few. To the best of my memory, the 中聯辦, the liaison office, Communist Party climbed from almost the bottom to 8. Not just about ranking, but also the score, 23.8, increased substantially. State leader drops, PLA drops, the chief executive drops, because we only put the trust side in this PPT. I don't put the distrust, because we ask, there are 5 choices, okay? I don't want you lost the appetite for the dessert, so I don't include, the distrust level. Otherwise, you will say, oh, Hong Kong become a city of distrust. But just give you some information, about the top 3, the distrust party. Okay. You know who ranked number 1 in 2021? Ronnie, you chief executive.
Okay.
51 add up. So you can see how worse is our, not now, okay, because we have a new team, for the Hong Kong government. But for the past few years, we are really in a tough, situation, The top 3 is SAR government, principal officials, and chief executive. All about, the Hong Kong team. You can compare what changed in 10 years. Basically, all dropped.
So Hong Kong went from a relatively high trust society to become a no trust society.
Yeah.
Got it.
I try to group, okay, into 2 clusters. One is the Hong Kong, about Hong Kong establishment. You see, court, civil servant, chief executive, executive councillor, political appointed. In Chinese is 問責官員, okay? 問責官員, basically all the 司局長, okay? All drop. Seems better for the mainland, the central government, state leader, the PLA. You see, the disparity, seems narrow. We go back. Lot of people, they seem polling or survey, market survey will give us answer, yes or no. But more importantly to us, we do polling, we do survey, will usually lead to more question for us to think. Okay, just from this table, you can ask numerous questions. Why the state leader rank so high and the Communist Party is at the bottom? I mean, in 2011. What's the difference between the state leader and the central government and the Communist Party? Okay. Of course, it is explainable, okay, but we don't do it today. A lot of people suggest one of our possible development is the party politics, 政黨政治. Okay? One of your friends, repeatedly proposed 政黨政治. One of your best friends.
Oh, yeah. No.
But if you see, that is not just one time, because we did that is basically 6 rounds. 6 rounds. This is the 6th round, we did last year. Political party dropped from 15 to 16. Score only 7% in total. Means here, how many people, if from 7%, only maybe just 2 or 3 have, you trust the political party in Hong Kong. So in this case, how you develop politics, party politics, 政黨政治. Where is the prospect for 政黨政治, party politics? So we can ask numerous questions, and actually, reading from the result, and give us, a lot of clues and a lot of, thinking, for the further research. Secondly, security. I would say 2019 incidents, the social unrest in 2019, if not change the Hong Kong destiny, I would say it really, change the path of our development. So, knowing the security in Hong Kong as well as throughout China, the mainland, is very important. I think from the 20th Party report, there is one highlight is security and development is equally important. So security become more and more important both in mainland China and Hong Kong politics circle. Share with you. Oh, what?
This is from last week. We had a Diwali family day.
Okay. 我以為廣告時間可以 Security, okay. You can see the queue. Okay, the question, the national people. We did the survey since when the central government announced they have a plan, to make the national security law for Hong Kong. We start, the survey. There is 2 cross points here and here. And after that, it's stable. And then after here, 3 cross points and then stabilize, you see. So quite consistent, from here to here, stay at 54 to 56. It keep on, going down and see here. So I can make a conclusion from, the survey. Now basically the Hong Kong people accepted the national security law. But if you guys, do a simple calculation, 56, 29, what's the difference? 16 or?
27.
No, less than 20. 16.4. 16.4. This 16.4%, they opt for saying.
Oh, I see.
No idea.
Half and half, yeah, okay.
No idea. No idea. They don't respond, to this question. You see, here, when they just announced the national security law, only about 6% people, they opt for saying no idea, don't know. After 2 years, right, almost 2 years, more and more people, almost double. Oh, sorry. Almost double of the people saying no idea. You guess why, okay?
Why?
Why?
Yeah. I'm a little slow, I don't understand.
Because there is no official answer, but I guess they come from here. They don't say no, but change to say no idea.
Okay.
So don't be too happy, you see the drops. Because very simple. The support rate just stable. Not going up, but it's going down, which means more and more people say no idea. But what they're thinking, what is their heart, you can guess, okay? Another question. That is about the responsibility to safeguard the national security. Different. This question about your responsibility, 有冇責任? Okay, so that is just the principle, 有責任, have responsibility, and 冇責任, no responsibility. The previous question is about the national security law. Okay, that is the law. You can read, word by word. So some people say I have responsibility, but I'm not happy with the law itself. Okay, so it's score usually higher. Quite good. 77% of the Hong Kong people say they have the responsibility. You can also see here. This percentage is exceptionally high. Usually, this sort of question, the don't know or hard to say rate should not more than 5%. Now, the highest up to 15%, which means we need to consider this level. What is in their mind? Wow, that is an interesting question. We start in 2019, that is the most tough time for Hong Kong. You read our question, how many people accept the violence and destruction of protester? Very stable, you see, 40% to 42%. Okay, ignore this one. This one, I think we did it 2021 just last year for comparison. This is almost, the end of the social unrest. Very stable, okay? Please refer to the answer in Chinese. I'm sorry, I cannot get, 100%, correct translation. The full answer is 完全不接受, absolutely not accept. Absolutely accepted, easy, right? But we add one more option is understand and I accepted. Understand but do not accept it because we asked the question in Chinese. The Chinese is 理解. Okay, it's very subtle. 理解 is not exactly understand. For example, when I ask for some, help, and denial, okay, I say 我理解. 我理解 in this case, 理解 is with sympathetic meaning. I don't accept the violence, but I 理解, I understand why they should do that. Okay, so if you change the wording here, it's just violence or other sort of criminal offense. You guess this because Hong Kong is a city of rule of law. So all this criminal offense, okay, do not accept rate should up to 80%, 90%, or 90 something, right? Will you accept it robbery or will you accept it kidnap? Will go up to 90%. But violence, attack, and destruction of protester, because they are protester, okay, the do not accept it rate drop to just 40 something. That three, okay, I said ignore this one. Even up to 2019, the end of 2019, still have 7.1% of the Hong Kong people. They said they accepted this violence. 放火, okay, the storming to the Legislative Council, awesome. Okay, 私了, okay, the fighting. Okay, you guess, gentlemen, how many people for 7.1%? 7.1%, if in terms of percentage, you say, oh, it's just minor, No. But 77.1% of 6 million people. 7 million. But I don't count the baby or the kids, okay? I mean, I only count the adult, okay? Over 20, okay? Yeah, okay. 7%. 420,000. 42萬. 420,000. If Hong Kong, 420,000 people, they support the violence, how you control? How you control? 24%. The people say, I accept it, but not without any reservation, but I accept it. I understand why they do, so I accept it. If you add up these two, more than 30%, 1.8 million. How do you control the situation? in 2019. Uncontrollable. If you add up this 24.9, oh Jesus, over 50%, almost 60%. So, almost 60% of the Hong Kong people is against government at that time. They support the violence in different degree. Lost control. That we add up these three in different degree to support the violence. But not support, but accepted without reservation, accepted and sympathetic. 50 something. Even nowadays, 2021, we did early this year, still have 51.6%. You can see that. Drop. Where they go? Here. They say, from accepted but to sympathetic. So you can rewrite the history. Done deal. Terrible. I just compare two set of data with you. That is about the rise in Mong Kok in 2015, the Chinese New Year. Okay, after that, we did the survey. Strongly accepted, the rise in Mong Kok is only 5.5% at that time, 2015. Half and half, you can, because we changed the question, if you say half and half, not accepted, but I know it is very complicated and I can't say accept or not, but 各有各道理啦, different people have their own, judgment. It's 14.4. But you see this figure, strongly and do not accept it. Not accepted, almost 80%. So, my judgment at that time, my advice to the chief executive, I think it's a problem, but not a big problem we can control because they are minority. They are minority. The majority of popular opinion is on our side. Okay, move to 2019. 完全不接受 only the absolutely not accept only 35%. 35%. This one understand but do not accept it. Okay, they are sympathetic. Using a very simple example, one of your staff, okay, going to join the rise, okay, will you report to the police? If you know your staff doing that? No, because you understand. You're sympathetic to this guy. So you will not join this set. This almost 30%, okay. They will stay out of the way. Okay, they will not join the effort to suppress, the social unrest. So your base just become 30% minority, less than 1/3. This concentric model I used to demonstrate, to illustrate, the anti-government's force in different degree. Okay, this is the hardcore. This is peripheral. Okay, I don't read one by one. Okay, the hardcore that is in 2014 to 2016 is from Occupy Central to the Mong Kok riot. Okay. We combine, the survey result as well as the actual figure announced by the Hong Kong police. Not violence, this is from survey, okay, 1.3%, 74,000. They don't see this riot as violence, which means they totally agree. They support. Okay, I would definitely participate in Occupy Central. Okay, also the Die Hard. 15,000. Agree with the action of the right in the Mongkok, just 5.5%, but 32,000. Okay, move to here. Support the Occupy Central, 36.1, 2 million. They support, I think, means just, in general support, but will not participate. If participate, 2.7%. 2019 have participated in any violence attack, any means 7,000 to 8,000. We estimate 全部參加，全程參與 okay, they participate, all the attack. Number of people who have participated in any demonstration, not, the violence attack, 1.5 million. We estimate, I think we're quite confident it is accurate. Number of people who vote for the anti-establishment candidate in 2019, 1.6 million. Okay, see this. Understand, accept the violence of destruction by the protester, 61%. That's I showed you before. 3.67 million. How you control? How you govern? Okay, let me move on to identity. I think, Ronnie, if you remember, we did a forum more than 10 years ago. Okay, probably we are the first organization to launch open forum on the Hong Kong people identity, 身份認同. At that time, I think 2007, Ronnie already, aware. This is a very important subject. We need to. Okay, I borrow this. Okay, from Hong Kong.
Do a little earlier. For those of you who need to leave, I'm conscientious of the time.
You control the time. Okay,
yeah.
Let me know. This is my friend Robert Chung, Chung Teng Yu, who did for many years. Okay, for this Hong Kong identity. Okay, let move on to this question. That is his question. I think the question is in Chinese, so I just made the the English translation. Ronnie, I ask you, you are smart enough to answer this question. What is the difference between 中國的香港人 and 香港的中國人?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I'm not intelligent.
Okay.
I think that guy had the conclusion before he said
another
the
question. Another question. When one day when you are walking in the street in New York, not you, okay. And a guy, walking in the street in New York, he was interviewed and asked, okay, hi guy, are you a New Yorker or are you an American? How you answer? You choose New Yorker and American. How you choose? The same, right?
They're forcing you to change something that doesn't make sense.
The question itself is a mess. Okay, if you want to know your identity, okay, you won't ask in that way. Okay, of course, Oh shit. Sorry, I seldom do use PPT. Okay, just the Hong Kong reporter. Okay, for example, the newspaper, the A Daily, not B Daily, A Daily, A Daily. The reporter will just interest in this number, 10.9, right? Only 1/10 of the Hong Kong people identify themselves as Chinese. Good enough as a 大字標題, the topic.
The front line.
Yeah. If you really want to know the identity, you need to ask the question like this. 你認唔認同自己係香港人? Do you identify yourself as a Hong Konger? Yes. No. Right? Makes sense, because we only ask to the Hong Kong people who speak Chinese. So we don't interview, we don't ask the question to expatriate. That is only target for the local people. 95% of this respondent identify themselves as Hong Kongers. Makes sense. Because in the world there is no 100%. No? 95% as a benchmark. Okay, move on to the second question. Change to Chinese. In 2020, identify themselves as Chinese 74, no 22. Almost 2 years later, in 2022, we did again. 74 up to 85, 22 down to 12. The 唔知道好難講 refuse to answer stay at a very low level, 2.1. So you can see the changes. More interesting. If you divide in age group, the young guy, 18 to 30, from 44.2% up to 70%, less than 2 years. Why? You guess. We need to round up with our future. That is a survey sponsored by CH for several years. Okay, that is about the future of Hong Kong. Beyond 2047, what you think the best? That your choice, okay, you read after 2007, which is the following. Do you prefer one country, one two system, 2062? One country, one system. Hi, 14. 由香港人自決, okay, that is the mild expression of Hong Kong independence. If you don't seek for independence, you don't need self-determination. Okay. 香港獨立 2.1. Okay. So you can add up, these two. Support Hong Kong independence around 13%. One country, one system going up, not substantially, but in statistics, that is significant, from 11% to 14.5%. So more and more people prefer one country, one system. Why? We don't know, but primarily we guess because I think they are not happy with the Hong Kong SAR governance. So they just, 入中央數. So they think, if one country, one system, then Hong Kong will be, peaceful and, can do a lot of things better, I just highlight, the most controversial one, the Hong Kong independence. That is also, a survey from my friend, Robert Chung. You read the question. Okay. What's the problem with this question? The first, if the PRC governments allow Hong Kong people to freely choose the future of Hong Kong, which means that, they will conduct, a referendum in Hong Kong for Hong Kong future. It is totally unrealistic. But, you put, there's unrealistic statement, as the great premises. Okay. The rate in 2005, that is under the administration of, I think, Donald Zhang, okay? 22, 25, 25. Okay, one fourth. Okay, we did our own survey. We don't hold this unrealistic great premises. That's the PRC government allow Hong Kong people to choose the future freely. I just ask you, someone propose in the Hong Kong independence. Do you agree or not? Okay, not agree. Around 80%. Always at 80%, this level. The highest in 2020, 19.2, 18.7, not low, okay? Compared with Robert Chung's result, just 5% less. Just 5% less.
5 points less, yeah.
Okay. I think these four sectors of finding will help you understand more about the Hong Kong people's minds, how they think, where we're heading. Oh, no answer. At least I personally, I cannot give an answer to you, but that is a lot of things for us to do based on this picture. Okay, Ronnie.
Okay, thank you. I know some of you have to leave, but let me just jump to my conclusion first and then open up for some discussion, a question from among you. I always say that in human history, there are collective hysteria. There are always collective hysteria or collective paranoia. 1937, Germany, Nazi, right? 1951, McCarthyism in the United States. 1967, Cultural Revolution in China. 2014 and 2019, Hong Kong. That's totally collective hysteria. Even Trumpism. I hope I'm not offending some of you, since some of you are probably Republican or are Trumpists yourself. How about the January 6th Capitol Hill attack, right? It's all basically the same. And if you were to study history, there's always somebody, a mind, a brain behind it. It is not just something that bubble up from society. Of course, you have to have something in society. Without that, you cannot drum up everything. But there's also always someone behind the scene, whether it is Hitler, whether it is Joseph McCarthy, whether it is Mao Zedong, whether it is Martin Lee and whoever else, with whoever behind them. There's always somebody, a brain, a mind, that want to move the society in a particular direction. And they have to give it a good reason. We're going to rule, Nazism is going to rule Germany. We're going to, kill the communists, kill McCarthyism. Yeah, kill the communists in the McCarthyism. We're going to hail the great leader, Mao Zedong or whatever. There's always something. And in Hong Kong, 2014 and 2019, it was somebody who was not just against Hong Kong, they're against Beijing. And that is just a simple fact that I think most people will accept. And there's a brain behind it. And of course, the fact that Beijing really, in my opinion, didn't understand Hong Kong, too light-handed on Hong Kong. The West wanted to make you think that China was too heavy-handed on Hong Kong. No. China was too light-handed in Hong Kong. You need to be wise in how you handle Hong Kong, and they were not. And Hong Kong leadership was pretty tough also. And so all these combination of events caused Hong Kong to have this, the soil for somebody to come along and stir up trouble in Hong Kong, and hence, the problem of 2019. So, as far as NSL is concerned, my answer is a very simple one. People say, hey, what do you think about NSL? I say, I prefer not to have it. But given all the all the crap, all the violence that I was watching in 2019, I have no choice but to accept it. And by the way, it is still a lot better than Singapore, let's face it. So what the heck? So anyway, so Hong Kong is Hong Kong. Personally, I'm still investing in Hong Kong, and so you decide for yourself. But this is what I like to consider as some measure of objectivity in survey results in order to point the way for where we have come from and where we may likely go. The situation is not hunky-dory. There's still a lot of challenges, as Chi Kong pointed out. Okay, any question from anyone or any comment from anyone, please? Rona, right in front. Yeah, thank you. Rona is a trustee of ours, and
Thank
then
you
El
very
Reyes.
much, Chi Kong, for sharing the data and the analysis. Who uses this data and how?
Microphone.
A lot of survey here. Okay, we did sometimes almost 20 survey, more than 20 a year. Okay, some are sponsored by outside organization. Of course, they will get the result. Some initiated by ourselves. Okay, we will share with. I just can say all the department or the authority concerned. I think they need to know this information. We will share with them. Okay, and we basically will use all our findings as the background information for our research analysis and every research, including, the political research or some assessment. Of course, I can't, go into details, what sort of these research and reports are. Okay, I think that is not a secret. We work with the Macau and Hong Kong office closely, the central government and the SAR government, but depends the style of the chief executive. Some very, very interested, or very keen on this market research, for example, CH, okay, CY, but some seems not interested. I don't say who. She even not interested reading any sort of this market research. Okay.
No.
But I can assure you, those department authority they should know this sort of information. I'm sure the report will on their table. Yeah. But I think I would say personally, I benefit, okay, because I do all the research, I write all the report, based on this empirical data. Okay, I'm not just Chinese is just 隨口講, you just say out of nothing, that is your own feeling. Okay, I won't say, oh, I feel blah blah blah. I will always put on the figure. I need have this the concrete data to support my analysis, my judgment. Yeah.
Al, from Hong Kong, you.
Thank you very much. One comment, one quick question. We're clearly sort of a low trust society at the moment. I mean, you've documented that. The key to rebuilding trust is really for the government or whomever authority to deliver results. I mean, I think that's really the only way to do it, I think, at this point. So it would strike me that when you have a larger number of people accepting the NSL and it's accepting that the politics now has been, to some extent, cleaned out or calmed, if you will. That now that we can, the narrative now is that we can focus on dealing with the problems for which people don't have trust that the government can deliver. I would suggest, though, that then means there's a greater urgency to deliver those results. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the key problems, the structural problems that we need to deal with, are not problems where you can get results very quickly. And I think that's really the conundrum, I think, for Hong Kong going forward. My one question is actually very simple. I'm wondering if you'd tell us a bit about the methodology for doing the research. Like, for example, is this by phone? Is it by mobile phone? How do you do the surveys? I'm just curious how it's done.
I let you know my feeling about the distrust, and then I answer you the methodology. I think both the central government and the SAR government must do something on it. Okay, we have another round of survey next year. I hope it will get better. But I think, put it this way, I think that is quite a worldwide phenomenon, for the high level of distrust. Okay, even I think in the state, But if you compare, the figure in 2019, I would say it is in a quite dangerous level. Okay, I think next year it will improve a bit, but not will be as good as 10 years ago. How to do? I think maybe Ronnie can invite the chief executive to share with you his plan how to build the trust among our society. About the methodology, it is the standard. You can find it in textbook. We follow the professor invited by Ronnie to Hong Kong. We follow the most restricted guideline. Basically, all by phone, by interviewers. It means by men. Okay, not by AI or the automatical dialing machine. No, all by interviewers. One by one. And I will say we pay quite high. Okay, compared with other polling center, because you need, the good quality interviewer. They are patient, polite, okay, to achieve a higher response rate. Our response rate, all this, standard set very high. So we did some other survey for election. Probably we are the most accurate, prediction in town. Okay, so now we don't call mobile phone. We don't call mobile phone for many reasons. We only call the landline household phone interview. Okay, more and more difficult. But I think in terms of methodology, it is acceptable. And we set, quite high level requirement. Yeah.
Any other?
Difficult because more din pin, a lot of the particularly the old women, once you call you don't know, you just hang up. Yeah.
They thought that you're trying to sell them something. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Our friend from the U.S. consulate? No? Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much. I hope that this is fun and also informative. There's a lot of work for Hong Kong to do. People ask me, do you support the present government? My answer is, what else can I do? And so, you just give it some time. And you said, invite him here. Yes, he'll be here on November 14th. It's a rental. It's from the Better Hong Kong Foundation. A few of you here are the council members. John Lee will be here to address council generals. So Gregory May will be invited, as well as chairman of International Chambers. We have an annual event here that belongs to the Better Hong Kong Foundation, not the Asia Society. They just rent space from us. Yes, sir. Can we go to your website?
Can we?
No, I don't think that
so
this
is not publicly available.
Yeah, it's not public.
Okay, just wanted to ask.
This survey finding before. This is the first time. Okay, so I think for your information, please don't quote. Okay.
It's for Asia Society members once, used to be used one time.
Yeah.
Okay, so if nothing else, I will see you on November 9th on U.S.-China relations, and the speaker will be the former president of the One Country, Two System Research Institute, Mr. Xiu Xin-po, who was the head of the CPU when we used to have a CPU, the internal government think tank. And so don't miss that one. I think it'll be very, very good. A lot of new ideas that John Thornton found very, very interesting. I think you will find very interesting as well. Okay, thank you very much.